Oh, absolutely. I've been obsessed with dinosaurs since I was a kid, so I've been following everything. But I haven't seen that Pachycephalosaurus, and I looked it up, and there is like a series because gotta explain this for the layman's people. But there are thoughts that Pachycephalosaurus, I believe Stygimoloch, and somewhere around Dracorex, but I don't think that one. But there's like a series of these dinosaurs with the dome heads that are actually younger versions of Pachycephalosaurus. So Pachycephalosaurus is the oldest, and then Dracorex, I guess, would be the youngest. So this is the Pachycephalosaurus that you were talking about, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Very brightly colored dome, and the red is just really nice looking. And it's very striking, and it's striking because maybe this is a male, and maybe the males have these really nice bright colors to look all cute and fancy for the ladies. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Stygimoloch or Dracorex, and it looks very similar. And so using the idea that I had before, maybe this is a female. It's not as brightly colored, it's a little bit more duller to kind of blend in with its surroundings to protect the kids. So maybe this is a female. But I want to show you two of my favorite paleo artists, and this is for everybody, not for you. You seem to know what you're talking about, but two of my favorite paleo artists do a really good job at showing color and displays and stuff like that. First off is Mark Whitten. He worked on the Prehistoric Planet TV show on Apple TV Plus, and Gabriel Ugueto. I hope I'm saying that right. I always say that because I haven't been corrected yet, so I just want to make sure that I'm saying that right. Gabriel Ugueto. Also worked on Prehistoric Planet. Just look at the Majungasaurus. Immediately when I saw the Majungasaurus, I was like, oh, that's Gabriel Ugueto's, because I saw his Majungasaurus painting before I saw the show, so I knew it was his. But look at his art. It's fantastic. Now, when it comes to Mark Whitten, he has a very sketchy kind of splotchy paint style, which I just adore. It just reminds me of those old 1950s Western paintings. And here's some, interaction with two Eutyrannus, and they both have the colorful frills. So maybe these are two males that are kind of competing for mates. So maybe they use those crests to kind of show off and be like, hey, look how tough I am, look how brightly colored I am, you better be scared. And then they start jumping and fighting each other like this. We don't know. Or this Utah raptor attacking a sauropodlet. Maybe these they're using the feathers to kind of balance themselves as more of when they're attacking, but maybe they use those feathers as a defense mechanism, because these things were pretty big. But maybe some kind of sauropod, maybe the adult sauropod kind of scared it and would have to flip up those feathers like some owls and other birds do to kind of be like, look how big I am, I'm scary too, you better back off. But even dinosaurs that aren't exactly related to birds, like Stegosaurus, look at the Thagomizer. You see how curly and twisty the Thagomizer spikes are? Maybe those were used as some kind of mating display. It actually has, I don't know if you can see this, but there's some kind of filaments, some kind of feathering, maybe early pycnofibers or something like that, to kind of be like, hey, look at my tail. My tail is nice and pretty. It's got all this filament and stuff like that. And even the pattern on the side, maybe the pattern was something that was more attractive to either males or females, because sometimes female birds are the ones that are, big and intimidating, and the males have to be more of the submissive person, or bird rather, to kind of be like, oh, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. So sometimes the females look like this too. Or even Styracosaurus, look at this pattern. This is definitely something for a display, with the frill and the horns coming out of the frill. It's definitely something that would be like, hey, look at me, look how either scary I am, or look how attractive I am, look how much healthier I am compared to the other males or the other females. And now I get to do a display, or I get to look really nice. And by the way, this is a speculative ceratopsian eating some kind of tyrannosaur, because some plant eaters today need to eat meat for certain vitamins and stuff like that. Look up horses and cows. They eat baby chicks and stuff like that. So this is not unheard of. And now moving on to Gabriel Ugueto's art. He does a lot of art that honestly for me is like spectacular. It is like my favorite. If I had to choose between these two, his is my favorite because it almost looks like a photo when he does like his main like prints and stuff like this. But this is just a size comparison of Therizinosaurus. But if you notice on the chest, it has these almost balloon-like structures on the chest, which maybe this was a male, and it uses those blue chest things that maybe have air sacs in them, and they inflate and they blow up, because there are some birds today that have the same kind of display structures. Or this guanlong, the blue on the side, which blue in nature is very rare, so maybe this is more of an iridescent brown, kind of like in blue jays, where blue jays aren't technically blue, it's just when the light hits their brown feathers, there's an iridescence to it that changes, that when the light hits, it flips it to blue for us. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe this is a male. Maybe this is a female, and the males are a little bit more brightly colored with like oranges and reds and yellows, and maybe the females just kind of have this kind of little blue and isn't as striking as the males, but more of a display structure right here. And the crests as well. Here's my favorite dinosaur, Cryolophosaurus. I mean, how can you not like this little guy? Okay, they were like 20 feet long and probably weighed like 500 pounds, maybe more, so they're not that little. But again, maybe the tail, maybe this one down here is doing some kind of display for a mate. Shaking the head around, being like, hey, look at my crest, isn't it nice? Flipping the tail around. Oh, look at my tail, look at the bands. This color means I'm very healthy and very strong. And for more defense, to kind of scare off predators, this Anchiornis probably had this nice patterning, which, by the way, this is almost extremely accurate, because we do know that Anchiornis has black and red and white feathers due to fossil evidence. But maybe it used all of those like speckles and stripes and stuff on its feathers for its legs and its wings and its tail to kind of splail out really fast, really quick, to kind of give an advantage of running away, to kind of scare off the predator for a second. Kind of like what was going on here in Prehistoric Planet with Simosuchus and Majungasaurus. Simosuchus was kicking its legs into its tail, like the base of its tail, and the scales were making like a sound. And so the Majungasaurus, she was like, whoa, what's going on here? And that gave the Simosuchus enough time to freak out the Majungasaurus to be able to run away into a burrow. So a lot of color, a lot of display structures, a lot of dances and movements and stuff like that. Birds do that today. And I believe that we should have more documentaries, more, especially with the Jurassic World movies, we should have more instances where that is happening. To kind of put Jurassic World under the bus, because they never use it, with a brightly colored male, female, what have you, make it more of like a defense thing. A human's walking up and it spooks the dinosaur, and the dinosaur's like, hey, get away from me. Get away from me. Look how cool I am. Get away from my area. Even the Spinosaurus could have used that. I mean, obviously the Spinosaurus was massive, but there could have been a moment where it was like, hey, you're on my turf. Get out before I kill you. And obviously the humans wouldn't get out because they're looking for somebody. And then the Spinosaurus would be like, all right, I gave you a chance. And then boom, just go after him, But yes, I would say that Dino Chick 92 has such a good thought process when it comes to dinosaurs, and especially dinosaur art, because there's too much AI art going around. When you look up dinosaurs, look up Mark Winton or Gabriel Ugueto or any other paleo artist. Just look up paleo art. It is spectacular and way better than like what Jurassic Park comes out of and what comes out of like AI and stuff like that, and gives you a better idea of what dinosaurs actually looked like.